All right. Peace, family. We are now live. Black Magic 363. Yeah, Black Magic 363 family. We are now live with the red and the blue pill to talk about this event. Yes, the bomb. The event we're having on Saturday, family. Let me get to some ads real quick. I'll be right back. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share this. Let people we know we are live. Big things going on. Big things going on, family. Big things going on. War Moon, what's good, family? I see War Moon in the building. One Serenity Seeker, Christopher Walker. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. I will be right back, family. Let me get to a few ads and we'll be right back, family.
Hey there! Had a bad dream? I have dreams too. Some parts are scary and some parts are fun. Always remind yourself, it's only a dream and everything will be okay. I had a dream about being in a forest too. Check it out, my pet Petey was with me. Order your copy of Kayla Petey and the Forest on Amazon today.
It's King Simon, New Motivation Consultation. Make sure you text me 347-496-1022. Get all of my books on Amazon or go to Linktree/King Simon, the New Motivator. And don't forget, I got a special, so make sure you book now. Text me right now. Peace. Cosmic 1910 alignment in Wilmington, Delaware on June the 19th with King Simon, Ellison Nedra, alongside Lloyd Strayhorn, all happening at Wilmington, Delaware, the Drop Squad Kitchen on June the 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Text right now, 347-496-1022. Text for information now.
All right. What's going on with y'all in the comments section? Somebody said, where is Stone Mountain? It's in Georgia. We're going to get into that right now. So red and the blue, man.
Peace.
Welcome back to the platform.
Yes. Welcome. Yes. Thank you for having us.
Indeed.
Love and light to the family. Peace to everybody that's out there in the universe.
Indeed. We haven't together did an event, outside event in a while. This isn't a lecture, but this is something that since 2020 and that thing broke out, this is one of the first things we've participated in collectively. So it's important, and I want y'all to tell the people exactly. Understand it's going down June 11th, Stone Mountain. I was just talking to Blue off camera. This is we're engaging in a sunrise ceremony at Stone Mountain, and sunrise on June 11th is at 6:26 a.m. So
Yes.
we're all meeting up in Stone Mountain at 5:44 a.m. All right, family, and I'm allowed. This is at the walk-up trail. We mean 5:44 a.m. at the walk-up trail. A lot of people have asked about this. A lot of people ain't ready for that level of dedication to their spiritual growth to meet at 5:44 a.m. So if I got 100 people to hit me up, probably about 20 of y'all make it is that dedicated to your spiritual growth and that level of DNA activation. So tell the people, go in detail. I understand it's June 11th, 5:44 a.m. We're meeting up at the walk-up trail area in Stone Mountain, and that's located near the Confederate Hall. So Blue Pill, I want to allow you to go into some detail exactly about what's going on. I know it's a sunrise ceremony. You named it, charging your crystal. Brother, let the people know exactly what's happening on June 11th at 5:44 a.m. We're meeting there.
Well, right. As a continuation and an extension of a ceremony that we conducted on April 4th at sunrise on Stone Mountain, we were able to see some monumental manifestations, some immediate manifestations, understanding that the Stone Mountain is the largest exposed quote unquote granite, which is composed mostly of quartz. It's a quartz crystal, right? It's a resonant frequency. And we understand that we can actually charge up this particular crystal. A crystal is something that holds your intent and it magnifies it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever particular resonance that we go there with, right? Think of it as ringing a bell. There's been a lot of things taking place over the city of Atlanta as of lately, with people saying, shit must be a spell over this city. There's a particular energy, there's a frequency over this city that people want to see changed, and what we know about Stone Mountain, what we know about not only its placement, sitting, very propitiously on that 33rd degree ley line, but its connection to other energy centers and vortexes throughout the South. We know that we can create a particular resonance on this quartz crystal that will ripple and carry not only through these particular immediate environments, but all the way through the South, connected through other mountain systems across this continent, rippling through these ley lines all around this world. So we want to be the change that we're looking to see at a time like this. We want to take advantage. We know that there's been some things taking place with our people in particular, and there's an energy that seems to be pushing against our people. And a lot of us are confused about how to push back. We say that our biggest strength is our ability to unify around a collective idea, a thought, and a principle. And this particular principle that we're going up to that mountain with is the principle of power and protection. And we know that, because of the indigenous nature of this particular edifice and this mountain, we know that we have every right to claim access to this power portal because it's part of our lineage, it's part of our technology, right? And if the ops are utilizing that particular edifice as the quartz battery for white supremacy, let's be clear. Stone Mountain is being utilized as the quantum computer
Facts, Blue.
for white supremacy.
Facts, Blue. Talk to him.
Right? And I'll explain the different ways that this particular edifice, right, or this quartz edifice was dedicated to the service of quote unquote white supremacy, the way that they layered their rituals on this particular mountain. We know that there was an indigenous campaign fought originally to remove the original inhabitants of that land, which at the time when the Confederates and the conquistadors and the colonizers got here, that would have been the Muskogee Creek people. But the history of that land is even more ancient, right? But in the more present day hand of the caretakers of that particular land, we're identifying the Muskogee and the Creek, and also the Cherokee in that particular region. Stone Mountain was a meeting ground. It was a place where all roads converged, all trails, all creeks. You know what I'm saying? So the people got to their gathering places by way of physical trails, by walking and running. They said that our people were able to run 40 miles typically in a day. And these were just the messengers. They would run from one end, which would be Savannah, all the way up into Stone Mountain. And this is just carrying messages, right? Back and forth. So there was a particular physical throughway that they gained access to Stone Mountain, and there was waterways by way of creeks, right? When the colonizers came here, the way that they cut that particular throughway off is, they cut those trails and they cut off those creeks, right? And then they figured out that this is the center, the citadel of power for these quote unquote, tribes or people. So understand with them, when they come as colonizers, we spoke about this when we did the doctrine of discovery dissertation, right? Their thing is about discovery by way of dominion, should I say, by way of domination. So everything that they have to do has to deal with physical domination, right? They have to impress upon something and they have to dominate it. I was listening to Jordan Peterson once, and he spoke about the tripartite aspect of their domination. This was feeding and powering up their ego. They said that they was able to conquer tribes, they were able to conquer terrains, and by way of that, they were able to conquer those people's theos, their god, right? So they understood the fact that the god had to be tied into the land. Again, we speak about this continuously when we speak about chakra balancing and root chakra healing, right? the majority of our people have root chakra disturbances. They are disturbed from the base level of their chakra system because of this continuous identity issue that they have. They don't have an identifiable homeland,
That's right.
right?
Talk to him, Blue.
So they're not foundated, their physical feet is on one continent and their mind is in another continent. And even in the physical place that they're foundationally founded in, they still don't have the power. They don't have a connection to the land. They're not harvesting, the rewards and the virtues that come with cultivating land, caring for land, right? Caretaking for land, protecting land. Like, what are you willing to do to defend some land, let alone the food that comes from the land, let alone the women and the children that domicile on the land and benefit from that particular harvest? All of these things are missing, and we are in what? Concrete jungles, concrete citadels now, where they've created closed systems. So a closed system looks like one where you're only accessing electro energy from the sun, no magnetism from the earth, because you're cut off by way of the concrete. So it's a closed system, you know what I'm saying? And you're just all intellect. We come from the citadel of the concrete jungle, which is New York, which is all intellect, right? Not too much intuition. Niggas want to see primary sources. You can't be like, nah, son, I got to download. I was sitting under, a Johnny Apple tree. They're going to put you in a padded room and they're like, finish him. You finish, right? You can't talk about your intuitive nature in the city, my G's. Like, it don't exist there. So Sabi would always say the creation of civilization was the end of it all. Like, that's when, you know what I'm saying, that the shit started falling backwards, because you cut man off from nature. And so let's go back to this whole aspect of these closed systems, you know what I'm saying, and how they have this ability to dominate terrain, right? They were able to contain the people, right, and cut them off from their power center, you know what I'm saying? And then after the war, because the Civil War situation happened here, and then even though the actual war didn't get to Stone Mountain, Sherman still came and burnt down Atlanta, right? So this particular city rose from the ashes as an installation. They put melanated people at the base of that mountain and called it Shermantown, right? So just like these continuous stories that we hear about our people that were removed from sacred holy land, ancestral land, sacrimonious land, this was another one of those stories. Just like our people were removed from another bosom of nature, another garden called Seneca Village, right? In Manhattan, when they wanted to create Central Park. Because once again, when they came in and snatched up New York, they created a closed system. They purposely removed all of the nature from it, and they attempted to make it a citadel of capitalism for Westerners whose acronyms are weird, English, independent, rich, and Democrats, right? That's their acronym, weird. You feel me? So they's like, look, you can Google it, the shit they call themselves. So they wanted to make New York just about commercialism and capitalism. So they cut them off from nature because they hadn't tamed nature at the time. Remember, these people are in a perpetual war at all times with anything natural. You know what I'm saying? And when they conquer places, they just don't conquer the people, they subjugate the nature, right? Because the nature is representative of the people. The people are wild, and so is the nature. They need to domesticate both in order to survive. They have to create artificial environments, right? So they can artificially thrive. So they had over artificialized New York to a degree where they got rid of all the nature, all the trees and everything initially. And then the people, the rich folk who just came there for the financial center aspect of it, on weekends, they was like, yo, we need to decompress. This is too much. And then it's like, we don't want you going outside of the city. Don't go upstate, right? It's wild, it's undomesticated. We're gonna create an oasis for you right in the middle of the city. And that's where they went about and created Central Park. But they had to take back whatever last piece of nature remained because they destroyed everything else. So they took Seneca Village. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, They initially sell the mountain for about initially 4,000 and some change, like something super short,
Nah, yeah,
something super short,
very
right?
short.
So they sell the mountain to a granite company, right? Because now they're starting to harvest the granite. Prior to this, they weren't able to extract granite and move it across the country because they didn't have railroad systems. So what revolutionized this particular site is they created a railroad system. They ran into it. They locked down the quote unquote Stone Mountain, changed the name of it because that's not its original name, right? Changed the name and the frequency on it and just started harvesting it. They made it a quarry so they could harvest granite.
It was called Crystal Mountain before Stone Mountain too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm,
So remember, the
amazing.
designation of a granite is a particular stone that has different mineral compositions and components of it, enough to qualify it being X amount percentage of quartz, right? So they're saying that this is not really a granite mountain because it doesn't have the exact amount of quartz that's necessary to designate it as a granite. It's more so like a step down version of a granite but it has a small amount of quartz, but it's mainly composed of this quartz. You know what I'm saying? Mica, different minerals and everything that it has. Tourmaline it has in it as well.
It's
Different,
Monzonite.
yeah, monzonite,
It's the
right?
Monzonite.
So they started harvesting this particular stone to build all of their federal buildings, U.S. Capitol, the East Port, the East Steps, so the shit that the insurgents ran up on, all of
Mm.
that came from Stone Mountain. The uh, Fulton County Jail, um, what you call it, the courthouse, right? Fulton
Oh
County,
yeah, I got a whole list of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
yeah, all around, you know what I'm
U.S.
saying?
Treasury Building,
Yeah,
Lincoln Monument.
they started sourcing that particular courts to start building out all of these monuments, you know what I'm saying, and dedications to their war heroes or their conquests, right? Again, and now we see us as a people stuck between two people who seemingly appear to be beefing, but they both have unified goals. So you got the South and you got the North, but the North is here, right? Dedicating or that. So then the North came, the U.S. government came and purchased the mountain from them in the '60s. I believe it was probably the '50s or the '60s, and then they said that they was going to make it a Confederate memorial. Now, this country has only went to war one time in its history against its own citizens, right?
Right.
So why would you think that the victors are sitting up there making sure that they make dedications and memorials, right, to the ops?
Mm.
You feel me? But that's exactly what they did, because what happened is that they initially bought it as a quarry. They sold it to another company for now like $7,400. This particular company was helmed by a gentleman who was a member of the Klan,
Right.
right? And in 1915, after a propaganda film called Birth of a Nation, right, the first one, right, this is when Hollywood cut its teeth, right? This propaganda film comes out about the Klan and resurrect. This is the second coming of the Ku Klux Klan in
Right.
1950, right? From Birth of a Nation.
A
Okay.
nation was birthed. How
A
about
nation was
that?
born.
And
So November 25th, 1915, on Thanksgiving, right? So this is the second compounding of the ritualistic nature of it, how they compounded layer upon layer upon layer. So on November 25th, 1915, right, they got their tiki torches and everything, and they went to the top, which is a 40-story, 400 foot top, right? They go
right,
to 44 on
1 mile
the
up.
33rd, yeah, 1.1 mile up on the 33rd parallel, exact 33.48. They go up and they consecrate by burning a cross the return and the resurrection of the Ku Klux Klan,
Hold
right?
on.
And they did no, they did two blood rituals. My bad.
I'm about to put that.
Yeah,
See, that's yeah. You be on the frequency.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Frank Leo. Oh, Leo Frank. My bad.
Yeah.
That was one of the most sensationalized trials that were taking place during that time. That was the murder mystery
OJ of his day. Yeah.
of who?
It was the OJ of his day.
That was the OJ of its day,
Yeah.
right? It was the OJ of its day. It changed a lot of things. And it was the murder of a teenager called Mary Fagan. Okay. And Mary Fagan was she was a young white girl who worked in a pencil factory that was owned by a Jewish businessman who lived in the South. His name was Leo Frank, right? So Leo Frank was the only person to see her, it was the last person to see her alive and whatnot. So the trial went all the way to the Supreme Court. They sentenced Leo Frank to death. Then Leo Frank got his sentence commuted. They formed a mob in Atlanta, right? And decided to take Leo Frank out of the jail. And then they hung Leo Frank. They lynched him. Okay. And the lynch mob that formed was called the Knights of Mary Fagan. Hold on. And this the Knights of Mary Fagan, right, which was a militia that was protecting young white women, right? They were tapping into a Southern tradition called chivalry, right? And they were becoming the saviors of their people by protecting the women and whatnot. They eventually form into the second iteration of what Blue Pill was talking about, the KKK, on Thanksgiving, the end of Jason, on the top of that mountain and whatnot, having a torch burning ritual on the Crystal Mountain. How about it?
To this day.
And then use the movie Birth of a Nation, which was the first movie and film that was screened in the White House and whatnot. It was one of the illest propaganda films to demonize and to quote unquote, dehumanize the melanated man, and especially the melanated man and the phallic principle of what the melanated man represented that Dr. Francis Cress Wilson taught us about. And that's when the quote unquote what we see all the way up into the Buffalo shooting the other day and many other instances that this still is a situation that we're dealing with right now. Okay. The fear of a black or more Messiah.
Indeed, and for me, just everybody who's coming in late, one more time, family, we are doing a sunrise ceremony. So when the sun rises, we will be doing group collective meditation. And the name of this particular gathering that we are having on June 11th is called Charging Your Crystal. Now, I seen somebody in the comments said, well, what kind of crystal do I bring? We're talking about the human body crystal.
Right.
And I tell you, you can bring crystals if you want, but the crystal that you are ultimately charging on that day is your human avatar. Your avatar is your crystalline avatar. So, family, for those who are serious, and like I said, a lot of people inquired about coming, but I know that a lot of y'all ain't gonna make it that early in the morning. This is you have to be truly dedicated. As I said, we're meeting up at 5:44 a.m. Sunrise that day is at 6:26 a.m. So it takes us a while to make it up the trail. So we're meeting at 5:44, and we will be departing so we can make it up that trail and be at the top by 6:26. So everybody who is interested, we're meeting at Stone Mountain on June 11th at 5:44 in the morning. The area we are meeting up is called the Walk Up Trail. They could Google that, right? Blue, about where the Walk Up Trail is. Is that Googleable?
Yeah,
is that a word?
It's Googleable, and they can ask upon entry in the park, the directions to the walk up trail. There's signage leading up to that. So yeah.
I'm gonna repeat something that I saw in the comment section. Somebody said park behind the bank so you don't have to pay. I'm adamant about not giving them $1 because of what just what that park represents. So
yeah, I done got the yearly pass, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
I was so thirsty. Last time I went, I had to pay. It was only $10 extra for the yearly pass, so I just went and got it. But yeah, do what you got to do. Everybody got to go where it feels right to them. So if you could park by the bank, that would be best. If you don't want to pay at all, to enter. But like I said, Blue, are you able to make a flyer? You can make a flyer that we can share as well. Yes.
Absolutely.
So Blue will be making a flyer tomorrow, and we'll be sharing that as well. Is Tarsili's coming? Is she gonna lead you in the group meditation?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So Tarsili and Blue Pill will be leading the group meditation. We're gonna have the drum in there. It's gonna be it's gonna be beautiful, family. It's gonna be beautiful. But like I said, it's so early in the morning. We do events. It'd be like one,
The
2,
rising.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is sunrise, and so yeah, it's one of those events. It's gonna be
You said this is the year of discipline, though, the other day,
indeed.
correct?
Yeah, correct. Yes, yes.
So
So
this is about rewarding ourselves with the opportunity to do something that we haven't done together before. This is
indeed,
also, paying homage to you know, just being on time. You know what I
indeed.
mean? And being there, being present
Um,
when the call
you
is
know,
made.
right. I always say this because people will be like, "What can we do? What can we do? What can we do?" And I'll be like, "What you can do is show up." You know what I'm saying? Because
That's it.
these ritualistic dates, these people don't need to be gauged in order to show up. The ops, the other side, they prepare for it years in advance. So if it's at 5:44, they there at 4:44, eagerly anticipated. It's like they've been waiting for this moment forever. With us, we need over convincing to show up to do the work that we came here to do, that you was born to do. So the sister on the show, she said some amazing things last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is your calling, if this is what you're here to do, now's the time. Here's the opportunity, right? We can show up and show one another, right? Not the world, not nobody else. Yes, yes, let's utilize this as a closed system as well, because what we're doing, of course, there's a physical implication of it, but it's really taking place on the mental plane here in Gemini. So we're going to unify as a quantum mind on a quantum crystal, which happens to be, again, co-opted as the motherboard for what's considered to be quote unquote white supremacy. And we're going to short circuit it with a resonant frequency that's more dominant, right? We're going to make a superior claim
Right.
particular days and times, utilizing the crystal like a singing bowl.
Mm.
Okay.
Right. Look.
What?
Hold on. And so wherever you're at physically on this plane of existence, family, listening to this information and this message at a particular time that we will give you, you can tune in as well in this quantum meditation. And we
Right.
have already provided the results and the receipts on this program of what we've been able to do as a quantum mind unified, right? Again, y'all have the power. Y'all have the power. We just not tapping in and utilizing it, when necessary and needed. Now is that time.
Right.
Oh, they keep asking, will we be live streaming the event? What you think? You think is this something we should live stream, or you think this is something everything can't be for the computer? What you think?
It's definitely one of those everything can't be for the computer situations. Again, if you meet us on the mental plane, just follow the instructions. We're gonna be there.
Mm,
We're gonna be there on that plane. That's where you tap in and meet us at.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? If you're able to physically be there, then you can be part of that experience. You know what I'm saying? But everything is not for the internet. We can't entirely show our hands. Is you know, I'm not saying bad enough, but we're even here announcing it. That alone is given, what I'm saying, the quote
Too.
unquote the heads up. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, yeah, you gotta be there. If you can't physically be there mentally. This is where you
Right.
know how this thing works or not, because you're not always gonna have access to a live stream. You're not always gonna have access to a phone. What if what the sister was talking about is a real situation and we're dealing with the aspect of solar flashes, right? And you don't have electronics. How can we communicate as a people ancestrally? How did we do it? We had designated meeting points, you know what I'm saying? And we had different things that we utilized like smoke signals, right? How can we communicate when communication no longer works for us? So
Mm.
Mm.
For the person in the chat that's asking about the Wayne Chandler seminar, you want to purchase it, go to my website, blackmagicuniversity.com to get that. All right. What do y'all think about? I've heard the brother Rashard Jamal and I believe somebody else say that Stone Mountain used to be headquarters for Atlantis. This was like this where everything was popping. What you think about that? This used to be
You know,
headquarters.
one of the interesting things that I found in my research for it, they were speaking about the craters on the top of Stone Mountain, right?
Right.
And they said inside of those craters are a prehistoric version of shrimp that periodically come out every now and then when it rains. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? These shrimp just emerge, and the seeds of them can lay dormant for when the conditions are right. Then they'll spring up. They're in no rush. They've been there forever. So I'm
mm,
like, shit. How can shrimp be part of the landscape if this thing wasn't once on the water?
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's things about the landscape. It's things that they've been able to find that kind of will lend some sort of credence to the fact that all of this stuff was underwater at one point.
Mm, mm, indeed. Now, for
Oh,
those who,
yeah,
yeah,
they also in my research I found there also was this inquiry about they were speaking about the mountain formation because Stone Mountain is actually pressurized and pushed up. It's connected to Blue Ridge Mountain, and the
Right.
Blue Ridge Mountains are part of the Appalachian Mountain Trails. You
They're
know,
all connected.
yeah. So then they were speaking about the Appalachians or one of these mountain trails was formed when North America and North Africa, right, made a connection. Or so I was like, that's interesting. You talking Morocco now,
mm,
right? You talking about that ancient empire, you know what I'm saying? That they speak about. So, and even when I met the brothers in Morocco, in Tucson at the mineral show, the majority of stones that they were giving me came from the mountains, the Atlas Mountains, but all of that was underwater at one point because all of the stones were ancient fossilized sea creatures,
Mm.
right? So this is not even up for argument. You know, this place is ancient. You feel me? This place is ancient. You know what I mean? Millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of years old. And we have access to all of the memory of it by way of the fact that we are engaging with crystals and we're fully conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? So these are amazing times and opportunities to step into, once again, like I said, something that's available and accessible. And if it wasn't a generator of energy or currency, they would not be attempting to lock it down.
Right.
So again, and then on April 15th of, I forget what year it was, whatever I'm sure Red got the dates down packed, but the year that they dedicated and opened the park or the whole situation was 100 years after they killed Lincoln, right? So again, these are the Southern Confederates, supposedly the losing states, right, in a civil war that are still utilizing every opportunity through politics to take shots. And these is Democrats, Dixiecrats,
Right.
right? Be mindful. Initially, now this whole situation of Georgia is that you got melanated people stuck in between this battle between red and blue when neither one of them give a shit about you. And they have shown that if nowhere else in Georgia specifically, the historical record of the politics in this state, right, have always equaled, you know, yo, let me get an uppercut, let me get a, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just always been designed to keep the foot on the necks of melanated people. Remember, this is why they started the Trail of Tears when they found gold in the North Georgia mountains up here, right? This is what got the tribes of this particular area ultimately washed up and put on the Trail of
Packed them up.
packed them up.
Yeah, they packed them up.
Red, you want to share some slides with the people?
Yeah, I got some fun facts being that we are gonna be, on Stone Mountain and we are I'm aware that we're educating the audience who may never have heard anything about Stone Mountain, the history or the significance. So I went ahead and I put something together. This is actually a part of my lecture that I'm gonna be doing on the 12th and whatnot. So go ahead. We'll try to share the screen.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who reached out. Like I said, while Red finds those slides, Blue will be making a flyer and we will send that out. This event will not be live streamed. Everything can be for the computer. If you can't be there with us in spirit. You know, I just did a show with Rod Hayes on my Patreon about telepathy. So, you know, just tap in, you know, spooky action at a distance. Einstein called when we connect with each other. You know, distance is illusion, locality is an illusion. So let's engage in some spooky action at a distance on June 11th. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
For real, for real. But nah, it's fun. It's gonna be fun. Like Red Pill said earlier, I was talking earlier this year, a couple of months ago when I did the Wayne Chandler event about this being a year of discipline. And one of the things that we have to do is reprogram our body. Our body's a set of old subconscious programs. And when you want to go to the gym and lift some weights or jog or whatever, your body's
Right.
gonna say, "Nah, nigga, do that tomorrow. We do that. We'll take care of that tomorrow." Your mind wants to do it, but your body's just say, "We'll do that tomorrow."
Right.
The job is to reprogram your body and to teach your body that it takes orders, that it's no longer the master. Just chill, just relax. There's a new boss in charge. There's a new sheriff in town, and that it's gonna have to get accustomed to a new set of laws and guidelines. And your body will fight you at first, fight you like hell, because it don't want to change. It's comfortable where it's at. You got this whole neural network in your body that's used to doing what it does.
Right.
So the age of discipline is about creating a whole neural network throughout your body so that your body understands that, okay, there's a new setup, there's a new program that's set up right now. So, you know, if you're lazy, you don't want to go, it's the perfect opportunity to tell your body, you know what, regardless of what happens on June 11th, I'm going to tell my body what to do. My body isn't going to tell me what to do. Finally, I'm going to tell my body what to do. That's
Right.
that's the ultimate battle we're in, family. The ultimate battle. The
Yes, it
body's like
is.
the animal and the spirit is divine, and it has to teach its body that you are no longer in charge. So we're going to go in June 11th.
Right. This breaks down and goes back to the are you the I am or you the am I? Right.
Talk
Because
to me.
the am I is still dealing with that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that FUD element. You Elmer Fudding out here, right? But that I am, right? That's a whole nother energy. And the elder came through this last strong in at the Tassili's Wonderful Wizards of Royal here in Atlanta. And that's another thing. The energy vortex has already been set from last Saturday. The bubble, right? That
Charge.
containment has already been charged from last Saturday that we'll
Right.
be able to pick up on this Saturday because last Saturday was magical here in the city of Atlantis. And this past Sunday, a renowned elder in the community named Dr. Be Serious um, came to the event and dropped a bomb on the whole event. You know what I'm saying? And he was speaking about a new affirmation rather than I am is I allow, right? And as simple as that seems, family, attempt to implement it, you know what I mean, and engage that in all of your affirmations. I allow. So I allow myself to be great. Feel me? I allow this ceremony to be successful. Feel me? Like let that be your new affirmation. Because even when people are affirming that I am, their subconscious is like, no, you ain't, nigga. Right? It's that wrestle, it's that fight that you're talking about. If you don't have the mind and body thing balance or the heart, you know, the what they call the brain and heart coherence, if that's not centered and balanced, you're dealing with that voice in your head that pops up 2 and 3 in the morning. There's that self-defeating voice. Sit your ass down, nigga. No, you not. I am.
Right.
You know,
So I
one.
think not to make fun of it, I'm sure that we all experienced it, but the way to hack it is a firm I allow.
I allow. I allow abundance to be.
Right.
Yo, go ahead, Blue. Go ahead, Blue. I'll say that.
I was just speaking about, again, that convergence point, the fact that when you become fully conscious of yourself, you understand the fact that, the mind and the body they're not one. It's not a given. You have to integrate them. It's a relationship that has to be, forged and merged, because it's like, all right, well, who's in control? My body's doing all of these things independent of my mind. You know what I'm saying? But again, my body bears the brunt for the decisions that my mind makes. You feel me? So it's a symbiotic relationship that you really have to get under control, especially if you have, thoughts and ideas of being here for an extended amount of time. What relationship does your mind have with your body?
Right.
And just like we have to, going back to the whole discipline thing, family, we have to do things on our own and not just wait for special certain events to work on our discipline. And one of the things personally, and I talked to Blue Pill about this throughout the last, since that thing hit, and I was telling Blue Pill about how I engage in cold showers. I was like, yo, Blue Pill, yo, you gotta do them cold showers. Now that's something that definitely trains your body, that it is not, because your body will fight like, nigga, we doing this again. If you take a cold shower 4 days in a row, your body's gonna be like, nigga, why are you doing this again? This shit is stupid. Your body's gonna tell you this is the stupidest shit ever to exist. And I think just like when you're on a job and they be like, all right, I'm gonna give you 90 days, and then if you're on probation for 90 days, then there's something about 90 days that where shit turns around. If you're able to make it 90 days, you got the job. So the body is like, after 90 days, the body will give you the job. The body will say, all right, this shit is yours. Just like the jobs will tell you, all right, you lasted 90 days. All right, this is your position. The body, after about 90 days of telling the body that you in charge now, the body will say, after about 90 days of doing that coach shot, my body was like, you know what, Rich? All right, I'm gonna do this shit. Fuck it. You say this work, this shit work. So you gotta, with the discipline thing, it may be a while before your body, buys into what you are trying to sell it. So you just gotta be persistent with that, family. You see how the athletes do it. Get up 5 in the morning, train all day. We got to use that same dedication LeBron James got, but use it in spirituality, family. So we can learn from these
Nice.
athletes. We can learn from these brothers and sisters that are dedicated to the entertainment industry. Because they're Migos will get up, they'll be in the studio 12 hours straight, no sleep, knocking out songs. When has the last time we been in a spiritual lab 12 hours straight? We don't do that shit, but we criticize them. But they mastered a certain aspect that we haven't mastered.
So disciplined, right? Again,
Yeah,
like I said, when they on demon time, that's a discipline factor.
yeah.
The devil don't take no days off, right? He got to start in
That's right.
5, back up, and he's open 24/7,
Uh,
right? He's open for business all day, every day, and his hitters is hitters. He got to start in 5 to put in numbers on the board, right?
Right.
The competition has to be twice as consistent. You feel me? Has to be twice as consistent. You cannot allow yourself to slip and be one step behind the competition, or you're going to ultimately lose the race and get outpaced, right? By the people who ain't eating like you eating, drinking like you drinking, thinking like you thinking, and they still running laps around you. So why is that? Right? And
Right.
making of no excuses, ready and dedicated and willing to sacrifice and give life in order to get the mission complete. And they still end up in the end living. They like, damn, I didn't even have no contingencies on living, and I'm still here living as a legend. You feel me? I came here to die today to put this work in, put this twerk in, and still ended up getting a lease on life. And we over here making excuses why we don't want to get out the bed to put some
uh,
skin in the game. So it's like, you got the slides ready yet?
yeah, I'm trying to Red sent them to me. I'm
Okay.
trying to organize it.
So I
And
also want to say, even because we didn't get into the whole aspect of why they dedicated and how they dedicated the mountain, and the fact that the mountain has only been open since 1973. Right,
And also,
ain't something that they did in the 20s and the 30s, y'all.
right, they tried to do it
Yeah, they
in the
tried.
20s and the 30s. They initially started construction on the mountain in the late 20s, right? Something they would blame it on going over budget. They would blame it on World War II. They would blame it on a bunch of things. I'm blaming it on the spirit of the ancestors would not allow it. The it was dormant, it was dead, it was exchanging different hands from the state of Georgia all the way to a reverend and his wife and other people. When they decided to reboot it is when when not Roe, the Board of
Brown
Ed
Board of Ed.
versus
Brown versus the Board of
Brown
Ed
versus the Board of Ed.
in the
It was
beginning.
that decision right there
Right.
that created. Okay, scroll all the way down to it's like in the 30s. That decision right there created it incentivized them to begin construction on the mountain again. Okay, down a little more, you'll see a flyer right under that. Yeah, right there. Okay, scroll down. All right, family. So this is a picture of Stone Mountain in case you may have never seen what it looks like from an aerial view. Okay, that
That's a
would
good
be,
picture, bro.
huh?
That's a good picture.
Yes. That gives you an aerial view or overhead, a falcon's eye or bird's eye view of what the mountain looks like. Okay, as you can see from the just from the surface of it, it does look like it's been quarried. Right here is the relief that's on the side of the mountain that you can see carved on the side of it, which happens to be bigger than the carving on Mount Rushmore. This is bigger than Mount Rushmore and a football field put together.
It's the
It is
biggest
the
bass
longest
release in the world.
base
Yes.
release, the largest one in the world. Continue, please.
Uh,
And it's on the north face of the mountain.
Right, like the dark side of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
keep going.
Yes, keep going. All right. So as you can see, it has appeared in postage stamps and whatnot. It is a world famous icon. But this icon, unbeknownst to our people and unbeknownst to just the population, is an icon that represents, it's the shrine to white supremacy. Okay. This carving inside of the mountain, on side of Stone, the exact Stone Mountain Memorial. Not the mountain is evil, not the whole mountain. We're not going to blame it on the mountain. We're focusing on this relief right here and what it represents and how it's been consecrated over the decades and whatnot, right? And what it and the kind of energy, the magnetic resonance that it lets out, right? All right, continue, please. One of the fun facts, Stranger Things, they feature Stone Mountain significantly in their backdrop. Whenever you see them on the train tracks, that's Stone Mountain. And there's even several scenes where you can see the mountain in the background. And we all know, for those of us that are tapped into the Stranger Things series, we know how mystical that series gets, right? So Stone Mountain is the world's largest shrine to white supremacy, or I like to call white inferiority. Next, please. The lost cause, right, is what gave birth to this, what we see on Stone Mountain right now. The lost cause is what gave birth to the hundreds and thousands of bronze statues and monuments that we see all around the Americas, okay, on all the energy grids, on all the ley lines in different state buildings, especially in places like court buildings, things of that nature. These are their American gods that they erect. All right. So on Thanksgiving, the KKK's ritual on November 25th, 1915, after a dozen men lynched Leo Frank, those same dozen men went to the top of that Stone Mountain a few weeks later That man that they lynched was Leo Frank. He was a Jewish man, 25 years old, a very successful businessman. He was hung, and then they burned a cross on the top of Stone Mountain, and they dedicated the rise of the second iteration, the second birth of the Klan. All right, that day, and because it was already Klan property, it was given to them to utilize for their rituals and things of that nature, and they used it for its benefit. The daughters of the Confederacy and the sons of the Confederate veterans are the fronts that they use for the erection 400 plus monuments across America. And this only happened in the 20th century. This is not 18 and 17. This only happened in the, in the 1900s. All right. So in response to civil rights games after Brown versus the Board of Education, that's when they started going crazy with it. Next, please. Granite is a huge charger. The mountain was called Crystal Mountain by Spanish explorer conquistador Juan Pardo, 1567, looking for tribes around the mountain for their mysticism. The Native American, their secrets, their elixirs, their magic. They were exploring this new wild world. In the 1700s, Stone Mountain becomes a landmark to the colonizers and the settlers. 1822, it officially becomes part of DeKalb County. 1847, the Granite Mountain officially becomes Stone Mountain. By 1587, they had a village with a post office, a bed and breakfast. It was a stomping ground for weary travelers that were headed west. All right, so during the Civil War in 1864, during the Battle of Atlanta, we have the burning of Atlanta by Sherman and them. The village inn, it turned into a Confederate hospital that was treating the Union troops. Sherman came in and did what is known as the Southern necktie, where they pulled up the train tracks and wrapped them around the tree trunks to stop the supply, to stop the quote unquote, basically starve the, the opposing side out and to disrupt the supply line. The granite stone from Stone Mountain was used in building the state capitol, the U.S. Treasury. Granite has metaphysical properties. Granite helps emit a larger EMF, electromagnetic field. Spiritualists say that the EMF field helps spirits appear. Arabian Mountain is home to mystical cults. It's the second granite mountain in Georgia and in this area. Stone Mountain acts as a charge, an electromagnetic field. Next. So these are some metaphysical properties of granite. Next. All granites have interlocked. I just want you to identify it first. All granites have an interlocking texture. The crystal shapes fit tightly together like puzzle pieces. They are mostly made of feldspar,
Right.
pink, white, or any shade of gray. This granite contains pink feldspar, white feldspar, quartz, and dark minerals. Next.
And those dark minerals can be tourmaline and things of that nature.
Right.
Hmm.
Many people believe that cemeteries are breeding grounds for astral activity, not because they house corpse, but because of the large quantity of granite. If you are not in the opinion that Grandpa Billy's ethereal body is hovering over his own corpse, then this theory might appeal to you. Cultures that have highly regarded granite are the Aboriginals, Mayans, and ancient Egyptians. Physical properties of granite. Granite is comprised of quartz and other lesser known materials. Granite is formed from magma and the most common and familiar indigenous rock. Granite is also mildly radioactive. What are the effects of granite? Granite is believed to help your health, energy, and overall situation. Granite is associated with strength and can be worn as a talisman to strengthen your hair, muscles, and bones. Granite is associated with abundance and protection. I recommend putting a piece of it on top of your door to ward off threatening forces. Also, granite is believed to have balancing effects. Oceanic granite has the properties of both earth and water, so the neutral balanced nature is appropriate for calming yourself and having easygoing relationships. Next. While granite is popular around the world for constructing buildings, many people don't realize that the stone contains metaphysical properties. To harness the spiritual benefits of granite, you could wear an amulet made from the rock. It's found in a variety of colors, including blue, red, and green, or place an object made from granite on an altar at home. Next. Granite has been highly valued by many different cultures because of its power of paramagnetic resonance. But other than that, granite can offer more benefits. Granite is utilized in the northeast part for self cultivation, whereas in the southwest part, it's useful for relationships and partners. If you want to learn more about the power of granite, then you're in the right place. Next. Paramagnetic resonance, physical health. Granite is affiliated with lending strength to your physical health. Wear granite if you want your hair to become stronger
Mm.
and to make your soft tissues, muscles, and bones firmer. Granite also helps with health ailments related to your head and face, such as headaches or acne. Number two, increase abundance and protection.
Yo,
Yeah. People who long for more abundance in their lives, whether related to their
Red,
finances.
your mic, you're not on your mic no more.
Oh, hold on.
It's a little harder to hear you.
No
their
problem.
love life or the success of their business should wear a granite talisman. It's also considered a guardian stone.
Guardian stone that offers protection, which makes it an ideal gift for children or for people who have high risk jobs like military personnel. Emotions. When granite is extracted from the ocean floor, it's believed that the stone helps keep emotions calm because it contains both elements of the ocean, which represents the emotions, and the grounding properties of the earth. This in turn lets people feel happier and experience more balanced relationships in all areas of their life.
So let me also
Yes,
interject. When we were doing our ceremonies in Central Park at the obelisk at the Tech Inn,
yes, sir.
it's called Cleopatra's Needle, is composed of granite. And you know, you had to be there, I guess, but many can
Magical.
attest, even the elder brother Dawood and some other individuals in our community that were present during those ceremonies. We were accessing the multiverse instantaneous because what granite gives you ability to do is access tachyon energy, and tachyon energy is traveling, is taking your thoughts and like blasting them beyond, the speed of thought is whew, you're talking instantaneous. But imagine that amplified, because the way it was explained to us is that the Tekkens were antennas. So anything that we were resonating on that particular that edifice, it was being magnified,
Sending it out.
charged up, and it was going at an exponential rate. So there was so much taking place, at that ceremony spots, you know, so many different configurations of, this where we was like, oh, the stars move. We seen so many things
Right.
challenged, our, at the time, I guess, whatever would be the fixed concept of reality. You know what I'm saying? This where I had my encounter in 2010, with that mothership. So that Tekken and that granite, granite along with limestone, you know what I'm saying? Because
Powerful.
yeah, the Tekken sit on the limestone base, and then even the Metropolitan Museum steps in front of limestone, and that helps you understand how they built the pyramids. Granite, right, with the limestone casing, with the gold
Right.
stone. It was making it it was just an energy center, a super duper energy generator. You know what I'm saying?
Super.
Uploads, downloads. So this is again ancient technology. We're talking about accessing ancient technology. You feel me? And again, reiterating the fact that the KKK is a esoteric occult organization founded by Albert Pike, who was a 33rd degree Mason and the one responsible for the Scottish Rite, So even the initials KKK equal 33, right? Stone Mountain is on the 33rd parallel. I'm not going to oversell it.
No facts. I was just about to say I don't. We don't really even have to do the show, make the show much longer. I just want to take some Q&A from the family. This is something that's this is personal. Something that originally it was just me, Red and Blue, that went to Stone Mountain on the what was it, April 4th, Blue?
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
four.
yeah. But then so many people ask,
King
when y'all. So yes, and it's King Simon. So many people ask when y'all going back there. So we said let's do something with the
Look,
community.
yeah, we had a very mystical experience up there. Um, when we was on live and we were speaking about no vehicles having gaining access up there, and then an individual named Dennis, who's also part of a lodge, we could tell by the insignia on his ring, pulled
Mhm.
up a white, all white vehicle with the 4x4 on the side, and we took that as a sign. And that 16, I moved my lecture to the 16th. You know what I'm saying? And it's worth noting that Atlanta is 16 miles to the east of Stone Mountain. Those 16s kept popping up in this investigation. But we are on the west end of the mountain making the trajectory or the trek, and on the north side of the mountain is this relief. So this whole northwest aspect is in full motion. I've been talking about being presently present, and that's what this meditation allows us to do. You can be the O in between the N and the W. So you can be so fixated in the now, you become the center point, right? Because I've been to that mountain plenty of times and I have not engaged in what's going on the north face of that mountain. I'm only concerned what's going on the west face of that mountain.
Right.
You are the center point. You are the vortex point. You're bringing your power to a power center, but the power's in you, family. So we can unify as power nodes and get on this quantum crystal and amplify this charge and this intent that cannot be denied by the universe because we're making a superior claim. So,
Right. And
yes,
for anybody who's never been to the mountain, even though you may have heard us break down some of the history of the mountain, I would never want you to be disillusioned that the energy is off or that there's some type of anything to be worried about, because it really isn't. The minute you touch that mountain or that crystal, you begin to resonate, you begin to feel it. And the further up that you go, the more enlightened and the more, enthusiastic you'll become. Then when you stand on top of it, it's like Martin Luther King said in the I Have a Dream speech, the mountaintops of Stone Mountain. You'll be standing on the mountaintops of Stone Mountain. I've seen the top of the mountains. And then you'll really see, it puts a lot of things into perspective. Let's just say that.
Indeed.
yes.
Let's just take a couple of questions before we get
Let's
out
do
of here.
that.
There's
Mhm.
not much else to be said. Y'all won't hear me really promoting this this week. I'm gonna share the flyer with everybody. But that's about it. If you want to come, you come. Appreciate the good energy and the good vibes to the people that are out of town. Like I said, let's engage in some spooky action at a distance. If you don't know what that means, look it up. But it deals with quantum physics. Give me some questions about anything about in regards to the trip, and we'll knock that out real quick before we get out of here. What time on Saturday? If you came in late, we're meeting up at 5:44 in the morning. Sunrise on June 11th is at 6:26 a.m. We're meeting up at 5:44 at the walk-up trail. So if you don't want to know what part of Stone Mountain, go to the walk-up trail. We will meet there at 5:44. We'll probably wait around to about 6 the latest. Then after 6, we're not waiting on nobody. We're going up there. If you come late, just enjoy yourself. We're not waiting on nobody. We're gonna do what we gotta do. No offense if you come late, just do what you gotta do if you come late. But we're meeting at 5:44. We'll wait around for about 15 minutes. Then we're gonna take that journey up there. There's gonna be a meditation led by Blue Pill and Tarsili from the sister that just had the vegan retreat this weekend. Got one of the best restaurants in Atlanta. And Blue, you want to say something?
Um, Again, even that aspect of MLK, uh, the South gets such a bad rap because of civil rights. And civil rights gets such a bad rap because of the position that was taken. And MLK gets such a bad rap just for being MLK. You know what I'm saying? Um, but when you get to the South and you understand the politics of the South and how things just work a little bit different out here because of their entanglement with Christianity, you know what I'm saying? You are apt to understand it. You would not be benefiting from what Atlanta or the South has to offer without that civil rights sacrifice.
Yeah.
So whatever they seemingly put into place, however they did, whatever they did, the results of it is what's called the crown jewel of the South, which is Atlanta. Atlanta is the crown jewel of the South, and it was put together post civil rights by people, who held those dreams and those ideals of King. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he did mention Stone Mountain specifically in his speech. You know what I mean? But again, their rededication to the ritual that they conducted on this particular mountain was in response to the momentum the king was gaining and the fact that he was willing to open up the eyes of his people by leading them to the promised land, right? And the way that you do that is having indigenous people, melanated people in particular, have stock in the very land that they belong to, right?
Yeah.
So research the Creek, research the Cherokee, research the Muskegee, know who the ancestors of this landmass were, you know what I'm saying? So we can do the incomplete works of these particular ancestors. And the fact that Stone Mountain again was a place where our people converge, maybe just converging is completing that work.
Mhm. Also, will be for the family leading up to our trip to Stone Mountain on June 10th. I'm going to be releasing a meditation that night for the family. It's going to run from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Um, I might let it run a little longer since we're gonna be on Stone Mountain at 6:26 when the sunrise. If you
Mhm.
can't make it, tune into the channel. There's gonna be a live meditation, just like I did a couple of weeks with the meditation, y'all. So for those who can't make it, tune into the channel and you could vibe to the meditation that's on the channel that night. It'll run from midnight to probably I'm gonna let it run to about 8 in the morning for 8 hours. The eight. We're gonna let it run for eight, that number eight. So if you can't make it, just tune into the channel and engage in that meditation. I'm gonna make it dedicated to the trip to Stone Mountain, so it's gonna have a particular energy to it.
And
Yeah.
two other things I want to put on, I want to note. Um, I'll be wearing all white when I go. Normally, I wear all white. I was reminded to wear all white on this last journey that we took on 4/4, and I was greeted, or we were all greeted by white doves. I saw white pigeons for the
White
first time.
pigeons.
They wasn't even doves; they was white pigeons. And then I started looking up the meaning of Obatala, and they started mentioning white pigeons. So I was I was elated when I heard, the sister last night mention when she was speaking about Stone Mountain. She was like, "Yeah, that's where Obatala lives," and she's right. You feel me? So for those who understand that particular aspect of the African traditional systems, if you resonate with the spirit of the mountain, if you resonate with Obatala energy, wear your white. You know what I'm saying? Bring things in quantities of 8 that you want to dedicate to the ancestors, whether they be find out what fruits go along with that deity. You know, bring something to offer to your resident resonance, whatever that spirit is that you resonate with. It's an Oshun day. You might want to bring some water. Women, you might want to, wear yellow or gold or blue or whatever. Go with your heart. You know what I'm saying? Tap in and figure it out. But the opportunity is definitely being made available for us. You know what I'm saying? To do this as a unit.
Facts. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's get to a couple of questions before we get out of here. I don't. Somebody saying, where do walk up the mountain? I don't even. Kevin,
On
you got. Do
where
you
do we walk
understand?
up? Yeah, we walk up on the part of the area is called the Walk Up Mountain. It's on the west side of the mountain, and there's a parking lot. It's called the Walk Up Mountain. That's the actual name of the trail that leads to the walk up of the mountain. It's going to be in front of Confederate Hall, right where the parking lot is at.
Somebody said, "Can we bring kids? They're teenagers, no younger than 14 years old."
Yes, as long as they are physically capable of making the hike, they're absolutely welcome.
Mhm.
Indeed, it's a hike, family. So if you're elderly, if
It's
if your leg
1.1
hurt,
miles up. Um, Me, it's a breeze. I can only speak for myself, but we're gonna do it as a team. You know what I'm saying? So we will make sure that
Bring water.
bring water
mm,
if you can. So you might want to bring like a small knapsack that you can put your water in. Um, if you need assistance walking, you should get a walking stick as well to help with the steepness of the mountain. Walking sticks so recommended as well.
mhm.
Yeah.
How long will the meditation last? You
It's
don't know. We just gonna go with the flow.
going
There's no set
we're being,
time. That's
we're being
so.
in the
That's so.
now moment. Yeah.
That's so European to say we're gonna be an hour and 10 minutes. So we don't know. We just gonna go with the flow. We gonna see how it feel. Um, you know, but yeah, we're gonna do for those still asking what time on Saturday. Once again, if you came in late, we're meeting at 5:44 a.m. at the walk-up trail area of Stone Mountain. We're gonna wait around for about 15 minutes, then we're gonna make our way up to the top of the mountain to experience that beautiful sunrise. All right,
Mhm.
family. So it's gonna be a great event. Let's get to the next question. Let me see. Uh, how you doing, brother Rich? My question. Brother Rich is doing great. This has been a great year for me, and I'm doing great, and I look forward to this trip. Feel like I've been there before. Matter of fact, red and blue. When I got to the top, do y'all remember what's one of the first things I said when I got to the top when we went on the fourth? Do y'all remember when I see that house there? I was like, yo, that's my
What
that's
else
what
the house? Right.
that's my shit. I was like,
Right.
I was
I
like,
was
that's
like,
my
I was like, start the visualization process, brother.
I was like, that's my shit right there. So
Right.
yeah, no, I feel good. I feel good to be a part of this experience, and I feel good for just where we're at right now, and in the earth realm. It's a very interesting time, and spiritually, I feel more powerful than I ever felt before.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely enjoying, regardless of if you're able to ignore the distraction, family. A lot of good shit is going on internally. If you're able to ignore, like they be showing crazy shit on TV. I remember somebody, you seen a pregnant woman that got shot with a hand? I mean, they be the shit out here. I'm not saying you should just blatantly ignore what's going on, but there's so many things happening internally. You got to pay attention more to what's happening inside to what's happening
Yeah.
outside right
It's
now,
like
man.
you have to practice discernment. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We not okay. Don't ignore. I don't look. I don't watch that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I might be skipping through my timeline and they got it on autoplay or things of that nature. But I don't sit around. I don't slow down the whip when I see a car crash either. You feel me? I'm not
Right.
one of
Right.
those people. So maybe and it'd be hell of a traffic jam. So there's a majority of people who get off on looking at car crashes and things of that nature. They the same people that's gonna watch stuff online that is not gonna do them no justice. They can't reverse the results of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a way to alchemize that trauma, that pain, and convert it into something else. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. Unfortunately, none of the blogs are reporting it. You know what I'm saying? But he did a song, a dedication song to Buffalo.
Pray for Buffalo.
Yeah, it was something like that. And
Yeah.
they had a fundraiser attached to it, and it was like it wasn't even enough to buy a elbow or Zaza. It's like the positivity don't trend, bro. Like it don't go nowhere. He didn't even sound the same trying to rap woke. I was
man.
it's something about Black Death, man. That
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
indeed.
With
Anything you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
Go ahead, Blue. I'll close it out.
again, we are creating a resonance, right, with our intentions and our ability to tap into our quantum mind. If you see this picture behind me, this is a motherboard. This is a circuit, right? This is how a computer actually works. We know that all quantum computers, we know that all computers, period, run on quartz. We know that there's a race force called quantum supremacy, right? For them to build out the fastest, most effective, and efficient quantum computer, because whoever has quantum supremacy can gain space supremacy, and it's a race for space. What we're
Right.
saying is that if we are continuously under this grip, right, if we're continuously battling this particular energy that we feel is holding us back, and our people seem to be under a spell that we can't shake, right? Especially here in the city of Atlanta with so many young people losing their lives, and they saying, man, it must be a spell over this city, as light workers, as people that understand frequency and resonance. What do we do once again to bring a particular balance or different set of different frequency for a place that we not only call home? Our children are here, the women that we love are here, our mothers, our sisters, community is here. You know what I'm saying? And as well, this is the quote unquote face of Black America. This is where so much magic has been promised. You feel me? And we know that there needs to be a resetting of the frequency, a ringing of the bell, a clearing of the air. What better way to do it and what better place to do it but the largest exposed crystal, the largest exposed quartz on the planet, sitting in the center of the 33rd parallel, Stone Mountain.
Right.
So join us. You know what I'm saying? Join us for this undertaking, this monumental feat. You know what I mean? And yeah, let's get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Let's get stronger in our dedication and our discipline to our ceremonies and our rituals, right? In the name of peace, love, and light. That's it.
Yes, and I want to close it out by saying that over the past few weeks, the collective of our people, we've been bearing witness to what we've identified as psyops, psychological operations. We've been bearing witness to, new attacks on our psyche by way of these mass shootings. And not only these mass shootings, but the reemergence of a narrative dealing with the great replacement, the reemergence of a narrative dealing with white supremacy, the reemergence of a narrative of being in fear, not feeling safe, and things of that nature. That energy has now permeated the hearts and the minds of a lot of people over the last few months. Just is the irony is not there. It doesn't. There's no irony in the fact that we are going to be visiting what is known as the holy shrine of white supremacy around the world. Unbeknownst to a lot of our people, that's something that I'm sure that people on this call tonight had no idea of. But this is where we are going to be bringing our energy. This is where we're going to be bringing our intentions. This is where we're going to be bringing the souls and the spirits of our ancestors to come back together, not in the spirit of defense or anything, but in the spirit of, like Blue Pill said on another show, um, if if this stuff is ours, we don't need to waste any time talking about what's been done to take it from us. We need to have the conversation about what we're willing to do to take it back. And just by showing up, we're taking it back. Just by having knowledge about what this represents and what this mountain and this history behind the mountain represents, we're taking it back by showing up. So I definitely look forward to being there. This is going to be right in alignment with the lecture that I'll be doing the next day, Core Fear of a Black or More Messiah, hashtag Jason, because we're going to be building on the Jason months along with some other things that are related to the Jason energy. So yeah, man, this is very, very, very timely. I'm going to utilize the downloads that I get from being on that mountain that day, the portals that are going to be opened up, and I'm definitely going to use that to share with the people the next day. If anybody wants to tap into that online lecture, which we're also thinking about making a live lecture. We're thinking about doing a brunch in the West End, especially since we got people coming from out of town. But I'll take a tally when we get on the mountain. If everybody wants to do the live lecture, we'll do a component of it live as a brunch, where we'll be eating and learning and whatnot. And for the family that's online around the world, they'll be able to get this class. But text fear to the number 470-660-4706. That's 470-660-4706. That's fear. We'll be doing at 11 a.m. Sunday on the 12th of June. All right.
Yeah. But Rich, you said what time specifically does the sun come up? 6:22.
626.
Okay, 6:26. So on or around that time, family, when that sun is coming up, that's when we will be locking into our quantum meditation. You know, and wherever you're at physically on this planet, you can tune in. You don't have to physically be there with us, you know, 10 toes down on the mountain, but you can tap in the astral plane and tap in on that particular frequency, right? And we'll be unified in that particular field. You know what I'm saying? And that's where
Fact.
we're gonna be able to conjoin. You know, I know what our intention is gonna be, what we're setting an intention for, and you should tap into that resonant frequency as well.
All
So
right. Yeah. And with that being said, this concludes the show. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Like I said, if you can't make it, I will have a meditation track running from 12 midnight to 8 in the morning on the channel that day, an 8-hour meditation track. So you could tap into that that night from June, June 10th to June 11th, that night it'll be running. But family, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody that's watching. Thank you to the red and the blue pill. And we're gonna get it popping. All right, family. Peace.
peace.